Sometimes unofficially labeled ghost towns, many abandoned mining communities can be found across counties in southeast Ohio. These towns were often owned by coal companies themselves and included houses for workers and their families, general stores, schools, and medical facilities. More than 70 such mining towns flourished in the region at the beginning of the 20th century, when coal production in Ohio surged to about 30 to 40 million tons per year, a drastic increase from the 1 million tons produced in 1850.
Although a few predate the Civil War, most of them were actually founded afterwards. It's because there's a huge vein of coal up here, and in the United States, they needed fuel. The Industrial Revolution, all the factories were starting up, and coal was the source of power. Company towns, as we call them, were started. And that's because if there's nothing there but a field, and you want to open a mine, the company has to come up with a way to house them. And if you want to keep them, then you have to provide basic services. You're gonna want a church, you're gonna want stores, you're gonna want schools, you're gonna want a doctor. Those things are mostly gonna be provided by the coal companies. So when people say company towns as if it's bad, it can be because it's a tremendous amount of power over the miners who live there. But at the beginning, they were a necessity to get these towns started, because that's what they started from, was a blank slate.
Over time, the towns declined as the mines were closed and the industry moved out of the region. Some towns were abandoned as residents moved to other towns and cities with better job opportunities. One such town is Floodwood, which now exists in the form of crumbling foundations and piles of bricks near the Hockhocking-Adena Bikeway in York Township. Floodwood was home to coal mines, rows of houses, and a company store in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Now, remnants of the town can be seen in the woods by the Hocking River.
So if you add the changeover in how mining was done, you add the opportunities that come up with the wars, people going away working in factories, that disrupted things. And in particular, after World War II, of course, the GI Bill. For the first time, you have people having an opportunity to get a college education. And they've been out and seen the world. And they come back, and now they've been told, if they've survived to come back, that they can go to school. And so they do. But once you start getting those jobs up in other places, moving to the bigger cities and working in the factories, you're not going to come back. So many of these towns diminished and continued to diminish, but most of it, the town populations went just continually downward after 1900. It's just this slope. Some of them are stabilizing, and actually one or two have come back a little bit because people are starting to see these as not that bad a place to live, to get out of the cities.
Another old mining town, a 15-minute drive from Athens, is Canaanville. Parts of the Canaan Coal Company's mine buildings and smokestacks can still be seen in the town. The town's former company store still stands and houses a small business, the Athens Do-It-Yourself Shop. More businesses can be seen in the Eclipse Company town, which was a mining town built by the Hocking Valley Coal Company between 1900 and 1902. The town's mine operated until 1948, and the town has been restored and renovated through the past 2 decades. Today, the site houses several small businesses.
And today, that's what I would say, the difference that the miners made. You get paid every 2 weeks. That's because the miners fought for that. They were the largest group in the American Federation of Labor, 50% of them. And they fought for, by 1887, they had the 2-week payday. By 1898, they had the 40-hour work week. And that's just the small part. Then they got safety laws changed, how much air quality, inspectors to go into the mines and make sure things were safe. So that's the difference they made to lives here.